trying to do everything possible. So I'm going to recommend that we sort of do two at a time here, and we'll try to respond to two at a time, and we'll maybe get through a third or half of this line. So go ahead. Please keep it short, and we'll keep it short.
Sure. Thank you very much, Betty Marafino, West Hartford, and President of the Connecticut Alliance for Retired Americans. The two words that go through my mind hearing all of this is good trouble. John Lewis has been there. And as a former teacher, I have an assignment for everybody, if I may. The Alliance was part of a large task force. We just successfully passed the Social Security Fairness Act with a large bipartisan vote in the House and the Senate. And one of the ways we were successful, and here's my assignment, we had everyone around on our task force around the country have them contact their family and friends who live in other states, especially red states, and call their congressperson and talk to them about all the things we've been discussing today. So that's my assignment. It worked on the bill, and I think it can work again.
Thanks, Betty.
Just in brief again, we're here to stand with you. We're here to stand with you every moment, every day, every week to protect our human rights and human beings. My question is around DEI, and I'm going to just talk more about this as diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the kind of work that's been going on. And what we're seeing right now is that I'm with a number of organizations who have their funds frozen that support the very people that the core values of diversity, equity, and inclusion stands for. Tens of thousands of people right now as we stand here today are losing services and needs, and want to just hear a little bit more, because you've had your lifetime built on those core values. We'd like to hear you speak a little bit more about those core values, and that we're going to move those forward and move the kind of resources to our vulnerable communities that should be getting these resources.
Great. You can ask a question. We'll do both. Two questions.
Dan Weinrod, West Hartford. Two very quick things. One thing is, we have a group with a lot of multiple opinions about what should we do when the time comes and what happens when we come next. When, for example, the court orders aren't in fact respected or maintained. I implore you to work as hard as you've been working, but when the time comes, you're our leaders. Give us the signal for when we need to take keep it up. At some point, if there's that need, we need to hear from you. You're very good at that with USAID. The other question, very quickly, that I have is around the House. And what I'm hearing is the House Democratic leadership is not potentially willing to play hardball on this. I want to cast aspersions on our Connecticut delegation in the House and the like, but do you have any comment on that? Anything we can do to make sure that the House really works as hard as you guys have in the Senate?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I agree with Dick. You have to be strategic about this, but we're going to have to do exceptional things over the course of the next 6 months to save our democracy. The House doesn't have the same ability we do, right? They need our votes to do certain things in the Senate. They don't need any Democratic votes to pass anything in the House. I think, as I mentioned at the outset, there is just some disagreement as to whether you sort of reserve power and sort of use it occasionally or whether you use it every single day. I told you earlier, I'm in the category of use whatever power you have every single minute of every single day. And on the question of DEI, I think the thing that we can do is just call it out every single time for what it is. It is white male supremacy. DEI say what it is, and they aren't even trying to hide what it is. They aren't even trying to hide what it is. Within hours of that plane crashing, they basically came out and said the reason that this country isn't safe is because we have women and people of color working in airports and the FAA. They're not even trying to hide what they're doing here. At West Point, They shut down all the ethnic clubs except for the white European ethnic clubs. They're not trying to hide what they're doing, so don't let them get away with this. Call it out for what it is, because people do not support that, right? It is true that, like, the consultancy that comes into your company and, yeah, some people may not, be down with, they are not down with white male supremacy, right? They are not on board for an all-out attack on the idea that the only people who can do jobs in our government are men of one race. It is just not where the bulk of this country is. So don't let them get away with what they are selling. Call it out for what it is.